one.
Good Thursday morning, everybody, and welcome to KSAT News Now, our streaming bite-sized newscast that is also now a podcast. So like, rate, and subscribe anywhere that you get your podcast. Alicia, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing well.
Yeah, you've been busy. You're on the road covering elections
election
in the past couple of days.
Election day was what, Tuesday?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And then we stayed out there in Laredo Wednesday, and then now I'm back.
Now we're back. And it is Thursday. I know those road trips, even though it's not too far away, they feel like a blur, right? It feels like the days just kind of combine into one. And but you guys did a great job out there, as did a lot of our crews and coverage that we had during election night. So yeah. Before we get started, Elise, I wanted to ask you this, and I guess maybe you could give us our answer a little bit later, but I definitely want to ask people on Facebook Live, if you could own a part of the Texas Hill Country, what would it be? Or maybe what is just your favorite part of the Texas Hill Country?
Oh my goodness.
Do you want to answer this now or wait till we get to it? Okay, I'll let you think about it.
That's a good question.
I have an answer already that I'm going to be
too.
very glad to share. Yes, but I will wait, and we will explain that story in just a little bit coming up here.
Yeah, but also we're going to be talking, of course, about the latest in Ukraine as the war there continues. We're now in day 8. Also, the results from San Antonians stepping up big time to help locally owned Ukrainian bakery here, which if you haven't tried it, so great.
Have not tried it, but this is definitely the time to go up there. Yeah, that's a great story of definitely all of this community helping out here. But first, Alicia, developments from a big story here in the state of Texas.
Yeah, so a Texas judge has stepped into the fight over the investigation of the parents of a transgender teenager.
The judge has temporarily blocked the state from investigating the parents of a 16-year-old over gender confirmation treatments.
So these parents are also suing the state because of Governor Greg Abbott's order last week that officials look into reports of these type of treatments as abuse.
That's right, and the mother of the girl actually works for the same department, that would be Texas Family Services, that's responsible for looking into these cases, and now she's saying that she's afraid her family will be forced to leave their home.
I think also he's trying to scare families, which is working. We're scared. He's trying to get us to leave Texas, which some of us are. Lots of parents are looking at the alternatives to Texas. I'm a 7th generation Texan. I do not want to flee my state. We plan to stay and fight until we deem it unsafe for our family and for our child. That's the #1 priority.
So District Judge Amy Clark issued her order saying the family is being deprived of constitutional rights and could miss out on not getting the medical care they need.
That's right. So obviously this is a developing case that we're now seeing kind of pick up a little bit more information. Again, and the mother here works for this department. She let her supervisors know that she was the mother of a transgender girl, and basically she was put on leave and then was told by her superiors, her supervisors, saying that they were going to start this investigation. That's kind of how all this came about, and we've been seeing a lot of this now kind of go back and forth, and it'll be something to just kind of continue to follow.
Absolutely. All right, so it's now day 8 of the Russia-Ukraine war, and delegations from both countries are set to meet today in Belarus, and these talks are aimed to stop the fighting, but so far, as we've seen it play out, there's little common ground to get that done.
That's right. Russian forces were able to take control of the city of Kherson, a major urban center located in southern Ukraine, after they forced their way into a city council building there. So the UN General Assembly has voted to demand that Russia stop its offensive in Ukraine and withdraw all troops. However, the Russian ambassador said this wouldn't end military activities, only embolden Kyiv radicals and nationalists.
So the president of Ukraine warned Putin that he'll repay everything he's done against Ukraine, and of course that war killing numerous people and forcing 1 million refugees to flee the country. And the effects of the war on the markets worldwide continue. Natural gas prices hit a record for a second day in a row, and Europe is now trying to figure out how they'll reduce its energy dependence on Russia.
Yeah, a lot of dominoes here. So in retaliation to all the sanctions against Russia, Russia's space agency announced it will stop the supply of rocket engines to the United States. So obviously Russia being hit with a lot of these sanctions, and we're feeling the effects here. Our gas prices have gone up, and it's just been this constant sort of snowball of things that are happening now.
And obviously the focus here is to save lives. So yes, it's hitting our pockets, it's affecting us. We see the sanctions, but really the concern is for the lives that are being lost. In this case, on both ends now, but of course, Ukraine being invaded by Russia, it's a tough situation. Day 8, and there's no end in sight.
Absolutely, and we mentioned there 1 million refugees already having to find, just basically up and leave their homes, their communities, their neighborhoods, and I think that's been kind of the maybe lost, as you just mentioned, in all the fighting, and basically the geopolitical side of this are just these families that are just trying to figure out where they're going to go next, what they're going to do maybe for food, shelter. It's been a very tough situation.
And then wondering, what about the other side of their family? So the males. Most are, it's said that 18 to 60 years old, they're being forced to stay. So the family's ripped apart too. But a local cheesecake shop here just north of downtown San Antonio was actually able to donate $72,000 to Ukraine's army. And this is all thanks to support of customers over the weekend. And just in that area over the weekend, I was wondering why there were so many cars on the roads. Well, it's because people were parking wherever they could and walking to this little shop and donating.
Yeah, that's right. So the owner of Leica Bakery and Espresso made the announcement on Instagram, adding that she'll post receipts of the donations, adding quotes that this is completely mind-blowing. We have never expected this much support. We are very, very grateful to everybody who showed up. I mean, just incredible that our community obviously helping out. And San Antonians do this. In times of need, they will step up to help.
So they sell cheesecake slices and cheesecake jars, and of course you can just imagine they sold out quickly. So roughly $25,000 alone came from donations. So they weren't able to go home with a cheesecake, but they just donated what they could. People
just donating as well, and so there are other opportunities to support organizations and charities accepting, of course, donations for people in Ukraine, and we have a full list on ksat.com, our website, including how to obviously vet and make sure that your money's going where it needs to go over there to help the Ukrainian people. But I was looking at this Instagram post earlier, and the owner, her name is Anna, she was, just incredibly emotional during it.
It's her country.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. There's also a nonprofit here called Ukrainian San Antonio, which has been speaking out and doing a lot of gatherings for people here. And just again, San Antonio coming together for a cause like this, pretty incredible.
So Ukrainian San Antonio is actually listed on that article that we have on ksat.com. And the big thing that whoever you choose to donate to, what you want to make sure is that these organizations are providing financial transparency. So in the case of Leica, the owner saying that she will post those receipts. So that's super important because we've seen the negative, the ugly side of this, where there are scammers out there trying to take advantage. So you want to vet the organizations that you are looking into and interested in helping out.
Right, definitely. Okay, Alicia, so circling back to this question that we asked off the top of today's show, what's your favorite part of the Hill Country? If just
the stars, you can see the stars.
I don't know if you could own the stars, but
I can't own the stars. No, I love going to Wimberley. I love going to Wimberley.
Great
it's so beautiful.
Area.
It's small. It's cute.
Yeah.
You get away from the city, but it's not too far. You can make it a day trip or a weekend trip.
Right, absolutely. I think just in general, getting out into the country, you mentioned Wimberley, obviously up there, like as you go to New Braunfels, also even going out to Kerrville, some great areas there, Tapatio Springs, a lot of just awesome areas there. And the reason that we're bringing this up, because if you've ever wanted to buy real estate on a place like Enchanted Rock or Hamilton Pool, from the comfort of your couch, we now have the board game for you.
Oh man, that's sure gonna be like a coupon. Okay, so tell me about this Texas Hill Country.
That's right. So this is the Texas Hill Country edition of Monopoly, and it's now on sale. And it features all the iconic places, scenes, and businesses that you would expect, including Jacob's Well at Green.
That place.
I've never been there.
You have to register before you go, but it's so worth it.
You have to sign up, right?
Yes.
There's like reservations that go on there.
But it makes the experience that much better.
Speaking of a pretty awesome spot, Green Dance Hall, we know that's an iconic Texas Hill Country location. And you can also, in this Monopoly game, get the ownership of the Comal, Blanco, and Guadalupe rivers. That's what I would go for. That's my favorite part of the Hill Country. Owning the river.
The
tubing, the floating.
Rat, Texas river rat.
Hey, Texas State, eating with cats.
I'm not judging. I turn into one when it gets warmer.
So that would be my thing to own. But
what's the most expensive?
Glad you asked here. So Enchanted Rock. Have you been to Enchanted Rock?
No, I got stuck halfway. Yeah, the car
That's-
broke down.
Oh no, bummer. Okay, well then, well if you buy this Monopoly game, you might be able to make it out there. Enchanted Rock is the board's most expensive piece of real estate, and that's $400 Monopoly dollars.
Dang,
Yeah.
that's pricey.
That's a great reaction there. And Hamilton Pool is second at $350 Monopoly dollars.
Worth it too.
Worth it?
Yeah.
Never been there either.
So this
There's a lot
game,
of places
we
I
looked it
gotta
up,
go.
$40, and you can buy it online, of course, at the stores in the Hill Country, right?
Yeah.
The stores that are out in the Hill Country, which makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. So there's some stores like in Fredericksburg and other areas that are selling this. So if you want to head out there or if you want to get it online, that'd be a cool spot. We have an article on ksat.com also with a bunch of different links. So the stars, huh? That would be
Stars,
the one.
yeah, I went over the stars. The Texas Hill Country stars.
Katie, favorite part of the Hill Country?
Oh gosh, first thing that comes to mind, only because I've been there the most, is Fredericksburg, because
oh, the
wines,
wineries. Oh,
obviously.
yes.
Come on, guys.
Yep. Man.
Come on,
is
guys. Looks like I'll have to make another trip to buy this Monopoly game. I love
Yeah.
Monopoly, and I can never get anyone to sit down and play it with me.
Yeah, I'm one
Yeah.
that wouldn't either. Not that you were inviting me. It just takes forever.
You know what? If
I-
you bought it, I would sit down and play with you. I don't know if
you.
they let us do that here at work, but
It's work related. Yeah.
that's
Doing
true. Let's
research.
write it off. Yeah.
All right, so let's chat about weather. Slow, gradual changes this week. You probably noticed this morning, more clouds to start the day, and there was even a little bit of patchy fog out there. And the reason for the changes this morning, humidity is just a bit higher. It's not overly muggy, but our dew point numbers have been climbing steadily over the past few days. Now, this morning's cloud cover has broken up very nicely, and we're already inching a little bit closer to 70 as we speak. And we should end up in the mid to upper 70s this afternoon as we continue to see more sunshine. So for the rest of your Thursday, warm and a little more humid. Again, not overly uncomfortable, but the humidity is just a bit more noticeable than it's been the past few days. As we get closer to midnight through the overnight hours, the clouds return, and we'll start off your Friday with more cloudy skies, some fog, and possibly a bit more drizzle early tomorrow morning. So look at our dew point numbers across the area. Everyone's in the 50s with the exception of Laredo there at 62. So that's still in the pleasant range, but just to kind of give you a little bit of perspective, over the past 24 hours, our dew point numbers are up about 10 to 20 degrees. Speaking of the Hill Country, the dew point in Kerrville right now is 23 degrees higher than it was this time yesterday. So these numbers are starting to creep up, and it will be feeling a bit more muggy as we wrap up the week, and especially as we head into the weekend. By Saturday into Sunday, our dew point numbers will get into muggy territory, but that will be fairly short-lived because early next week, I'm talking first thing Monday morning, our next cold front gets here, and that will once again drop our humidity and our temperatures heading into next week. So we'll get a drop in humidity next week, some cooler days as well, and also a quick hitting chance of rain with this front coming through Sunday morning. Notice by Sunday night, it's still well off to the northwest, but as we get closer to dawn Monday, this will inch a little bit closer to us. As this front moves through early in the day Monday, we will have a quick hitting chance of some showers moving through, likely a broken line of rain moving through very late Sunday night, early Monday morning. It won't be all the rain we need, not by a long shot, but at least we've got a chance to pick up a few showers to start the week next week. Notice behind this front, it will be less humid and also cooler. We'll get our afternoon highs in the 60s next week. So after a warm and kind of more muggy weekend, get a little bit of a cool down next week. Overall, very comfortable next week with the lower humidity too, guys.
That looks good.
That did.
I did see that
does
Justin
look good,
tweeted
yeah.
this morning about, you know, in the coast that it's going to be a little cooler than usual.
Yeah, for
Especially
some
the
of the
water.
spring breakers.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got two big solid
spring break.
spring break weeks coming up. So we'll keep you updated on the coast and here locally as well.
Is
Thank
this
you,
good
Katie.
stargazing weather?
I think so.
Okay.
Well,
So I can go
after
in the stars.
next week will be a little bit better. We'll have clear skies at night.
Okay.
There you
All
go.
right. That'll be good. That'll
Maybe
be
we'll
good.
make it. So I was looking, doing the
Katie.
math here. I have been to Enchanted Rock. I was getting it confused with Big Ben.
Oh,
But
okay.
I do remember that when I tried to make it to Enchanted Rock the first time, it was closed.
Oh.
Or I think I reserved for the
So
wrong
it wasn't that
part
the
or
car broke
something.
down, it was a car issue.
The
It was
car broke down for Big Pin.
Oh my God.
But I did eventually make it to Enchanted Rock, and it was beautiful. I want to go back.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of people that have posted pictures and things on social media that show some great images out there.
Some people chiming in about
Yes.
what they love about the hill country. We have Olivia Morales. She says, the beautiful Guadalupe River in my hometown in Comfort, Texas.
Yeah, that's a great point there, Olivia. Thank you very much for chiming in. Is that there are different parts of the river too that people absolutely love. It's like their little, place of sanctuary and stuff. Yeah.
People know the perfect spots because I've gone to the river sometimes, to float. Other times just to sit there, like literally a lawn chair and put it in an area that's pretty shallow.
Absolutely, yeah.
Sunbathe.
And we have Gilbert Bear Mendiola, cool name there. That's the nickname there for Bear. But the scenery, the fresh air, and of course the barbecue. So maybe that's what you're talking about.
You can't
just
own
kinda
the
hanging
scenery.
out.
You can't own it.
Oh, you're trying to get the stars.
I'm trying to get the stars.
And Frank Rodriguez said the scenery as well. So a couple of people chiming in here this morning.
The hill country is so beautiful.
It is. It is
Anytime I get a chance, I want to go.
Yeah, definitely. Great spots and locations just to go hang out for a day trip or spend a couple of days out there. So that will wrap things up for today's KSAT News Now. Thank you very much for being with us and chiming in. Again, we have the podcast daily.
Yeah, so
Monday through
download,
Friday.
rate. We'll have that. And we'll see you back here tomorrow at 11 a.m. Have a good day.